Hey folks, welcome to our channel KassDays. As you can see with these couple snapshots up front, we had some deck renewal to do, and that was much more work than firstly anticipated. So we'll just show you a few snapshots here so you can see what all was involved. It was kind of a semi-transparent stain slash paint almost, and it was in desperate need to get resolved. Stay with us and check out the before and after at the end of this video. Here we are somewhat into the process. We are using a pressure washer, by the way, and got a lot of it off, but there were certain sections and spots on these boards where this stain slash paint was literally hanging on for dear life, just about, and required a trip to the hardware store, the local hardware store, and get a few items. We got some scrapers, of course, gloves, knee pads and stuff was already on hand, and we also got some paint supply at the same time. But one of the more important thing was some kind of a paint remover solvent to put on. You can see here the wet spots. That's all stuff that didn't come off with pressure washing. So we put it on and let it sit a bit, and after a few minutes we were able to go after it with the pressure washer again, and it worked somewhat okay, but there was still some more work required, but I'll show you this in a little bit. Here you see me just using the pressure washer when I washed this off, and I worked in little sections and tried to get it done. We also have a hand scraper here, as you can see that, scraping the boards off as much as we can as well manually. That's some kind of the paint remover you just seen here, the solvent. And then here we have the pressure washer. It's just I think it's a Karcher, it's an electric one, and you just connect your garden hose. Now it also comes with two different nozzle types. Here, by the way, just get sidetracked real quick, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and you can also support our channel and help us out on Patreon, much appreciated, so thank you very much. But anyways, as I was saying, with this hand one here, especially on the edges, I had to scrape a lot of things manually because the boards don't have a straight edge, they're actually kind of rounded, so it's a lot of work to get on it and get it all washed off. Now in this shot we have one section of the deck pretty much completed. What I mean by that, it's not finished or sanded or restained, but most of the old stain slash paint is gone, and I turn around and you see that's still big work in progress, looking that way. So here we do a little bit admire our completed work, I guess, and take a break at the same time, and turn around and kind of see what all we have left. So here I am with the pressure washer again. And by the way, I mentioned it briefly, but I think I got sidetracked about something else. It came with two nozzles, so to speak. What I mean by that is the end on the pressure washer. One is a flat one, and this one is kind of a circular motion one, and you can see this here very nicely in this little segment here. It's kind of a circular motion, and I found it works much better than when it's just a flat stream. Now here it doesn't look like that much, but there is a lot of pressure behind this, so you need to be very careful because you can actually severely damage your boards, especially as they get wet and a bit more soft from washing and all the water and the treatment. So you cannot just keep washing and put pressure on. If it doesn't come off, you need to do it manually, and then also use some solvent to loosen up the paint. And for little specks that were still left, I just went over to what do they call it, some elbow grease, and scraped the remainings off, and then continued with the pressure washer further. No kidding here, this was back breaking work just about. If you do this for 2-3 days in a row, kind of almost on your hands and knees, well, not quite, but it took some time to get this finished. Now here we are finally, after a couple days, done. We're just putting the pressure washer away there, and it's just wet, so there's no treatment on it yet, but we got all the paint and stains off, and we need to give it a few days so it can dry out now. Now here you see, it's a couple days later, we had it all dried out. The weather was not too bad, and we used also a sander, a wire brush and then a sander to smoothen out the boards and everything that were at some points a little bit rough on the edges from scraping and the pressure washer. So, but looks already much better. What do you think? The blower I used for blowing the dust off from sanding and any little paint specks that may were left behind. Other than that, we'll set everything up here because the weather forecast is not that favorable. I think it wants to rain, and actually, in fact, it took us about 2 weeks of waiting time till we could start to stain, because once we had the last rain, we needed to wait a couple days so the boards could nicely drain, not drain, but dry out, I mean to say, and then get this process started. So here we are again. Looks pretty nice already. Everything is off the deck. The weather finally improved. It was sitting in the dry and sunshine for about 2-3 days. We are going to put the stains on, and you will see what a difference this is going to make. And this is a transparent stain, so there is no paint or anything in it, but it still darkens the wood a bit, as well as you can see here. We have one coat on, and I'm just shaking up the paint can there again to give it a second coat, and believe it or not, but it was so dried out it took about 4 gallons. Now here we have some bird doo-doo need to get off before we can apply the second coat. Again, this was a lot of work on your hands and knees, but this is now the second coat, so the second time we applied the stain, and it did darken it a little bit. We also did some touch-up work, but it's not shown in this video on the fence. But the deck is pretty much completed here. We gave it about 24 hours, maybe not quite 12 to 24 hours, I can't remember, in between treatments, but it's all completed. It's a bit tacky, so we'll leave everything off the deck for another 2-3 days before we put everything back on. So I'm going to show you before and after picture here real quick, and it's just amazing what the color difference is, just from that gray to this brown color. I absolutely love it. Anyways guys, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you again in the next one.